Sometimes the strongest move is no move at all. Most people think power is loud, forceful, constantly pushing forward. But real power moves differently. It holds, it pauses, it waits, until the other side collapses under its own pressure. Silence is not the absence of action. Silence is pressure in its purest form. It exposes weaknesses, it magnifies insecurities, it forces the hidden to surface. Precision silence isn't passive, it's surgical. It's the difference between an amateur needing to fill the room and a strategist owning the room without saying a word. In every conversation, there's a moment when saying less becomes more powerful than any argument you could make. A moment when your refusal to fill the space forces them to reveal themselves. This video is about mastering that moment, about weaponizing silence. So cleanly, so precisely, that reality bends around it. No force, no drama, just controlled space and the slow, inevitable collapse of their frame. Part 1. What is precision silence? Silence by itself means nothing. It can be weakness, it can be fear, it can be surrender, but precision silence is something else entirely. Precision silence is deliberate, targeted, tactical. It's the conscious choice to stop speaking at the exact moment when your presence becomes heavier than your words. It's not withdrawal, it's not hesitation, it's a strategic pause designed to force the other side, to fill the gap. And in that scrambling, in that discomfort, in that need to break the tension, they reveal more than they intend. They surrender more than they realize. Precision silence does three things: magnifies pressure without you having to escalate, exposes hidden weaknesses they would never volunteer, anchors your dominance without a single wasted word. It weaponizes human discomfort with uncertainty. It flips their instinct against them. They think filling the silence will regain control, but every word they rush to say pushes them deeper into your frame. You're not avoiding conflict, you're setting a trap, and you're letting silence do what force never could: collapse resistance from the inside. Part 2. Why silence creates psychological pressure. Human beings are hardwired to fear the unknown, to fear unresolved tension, to fear emotional gaps that they don't know how to fill. When you speak, you give shape to the environment. You give them something to grab onto, something to argue with, something to manage. When you fall silent, you take all of that away. You replace certainty with weight, with ambiguity, with an expanding void, and their mind panics to close it. Silence creates pressure because it triggers projection. They start imagining what you might be thinking. Self-doubt. They wonder if they said something wrong. Insecurity. They question their position without external feedback. Fear. They fear losing control of the frame. They try to stabilize the space by talking. And the more they talk, the more they leak information. The more they reveal their anxiety, the more they expose the cracks in their position. Precision silence taps directly into their discomfort with uncertainty. It turns the normal flow of interaction into an emotional bottleneck they can't bypass. And the longer you hold it, the more unstable they become, not because you're attacking, but because you're refusing to rescue them from their own discomfort. Most people have been trained to fear empty space. They rush to fill it. They apologize for it. They break their own frame, trying to escape it. You let it expand. You let it thicken. You let them drown in the silence they can't manage, because sometimes the loudest frame shift happens without a single sound. Part 3. Signs you're wasting power by breaking silence. Too soon. Silence is power, but only if you can hold it. Most people can't. They flinch, they rush, they leak, and every time they do, they surrender control without even realizing it. Here's how you know you're wasting power. You rush to fill awkward moments. Someone pauses, looks uncomfortable, seems uncertain, and you panic. You jump in. You save them from the discomfort that was about to break their frame. You think you're being smooth. You think you're keeping the conversation flowing. But really, you're rescuing them from the collapse they needed to feel. You over-explain after strong statements. You say something sharp, decisive, powerful, and instead of letting it land, you soften it. You elaborate. You dilute it. Because silence, after strength, feels too heavy. But heavy is where dominance lives. When you break the pause, you break the power you just built. You answer too quickly when asked a hard question. They challenge you, they push back, they try to destabilize you, and instead of holding the silence, instead of absorbing the moment, you rush to defend. You speak too soon, too much, too anxiously, and in doing so, you validate their challenge. You show them that your frame is reactive, not rooted. You fill dead space out of nervousness. The conversation dips, the energy drops, and you feel responsible for keeping it alive. So you force chatter, force transitions, force momentum. But real frame holders aren't afraid of dead space. They know dead space is often where the other side reveals their real position. You break it too soon. You miss the reveal. These are not small mistakes. They are fractures. Every time you rush, every time you soften, every time you rescue the silence, you reassure them that you fear the weight more than they do. And the moment they feel that, they own the frame, not because they took it, but because you gave it away. Part 4. How to apply precision silence strategically. Precision silence isn't passive. It's an active move, a calculated application of pressure without force. Here's how you wield it correctly. 1. Pause after key statements. When you drop a heavy statement, stop. Let it hit. Let the weight settle. Let them feel the gravity. Don't rush to soften. Don't explain. Don't justify. Hold the space and let the silence do what repetition never could. Example: control isn't taken, it's surrendered. Pause. Let it echo inside their mind. Second, hold eye contact without speaking. Silence plus gaze compounds pressure. When you say something sharp, or when they reveal something weak, look, hold, say nothing. The longer you hold, the louder their inner dialogue becomes, and under that noise, their frame starts to crack. Third, delay. Responses by a beat. When they ask you a hard question, wait, breathe once, shift slightly. Let the pause stretch. This projects certainty, groundedness, indifference to urgency. You are not scrambling, you are selecting, you are calculating. It reframes you from reactive to untouchable. 4. Resist filling the gap. Let the silence do its work. If they scramble, let them. If they start talking, let them. If they fidget, apologize, over-explain, let the cage close on its own. You don't need to force anything. The pressure is already squeezing the truth out of them. Stay still. Stay cold. Stay immovable. 5. Use silence as an emotional mirror. Your silence reflects their inner chaos. You're not punishing them. You're revealing them to themselves. They project their fears into the gap. They confess their doubts, trying to escape it. All you do is hold the space long enough for their subconscious to expose itself. Precision silence isn't about withdrawing, it's about weaponizing restraint. Every second you hold tightens the emotional noose around their old frame until eventually they talk themselves out of their own position without you lifting a finger. Part 5. Tactical precision. Silence scenarios. Precision silence is not theory. It's an operational weapon. Here's where and how you apply it with maximum effect. 1. During negotiations, silence after your offer. State your terms, state your number, state your conditions. Then stop. No explanation, no justification, no nervous elaboration, just silence. The first one to speak compromises position. Let them sweat, let them doubt, let them fold. You already set the frame, now you hold it with the weight of stillness. 2. During conflict, pause after frame-challenging statements. Drop your truth, drop your boundary, drop your cold recalibration, then say nothing. Example: that's not negotiable. Pause, no energy, no heat. They expect escalation. They expect debate. You give them nothing, and in that nothingness, their frame fractures under its own tension. 3. During psychological interrogation, silent extraction. Ask a short loaded question, then hold. Example: why did you hesitate? Then silence, absolute. Let them squirm, let them stumble, let them overexpose. Because under pressure, people reveal what they would never volunteer. You're not forcing confessions, you're pulling them out by refusing to fill the void. 4. During persuasion, let them convince themselves. State your position cleanly. Example: given everything, the choice is obvious. Pause. Let the silence echo. Their mind will start filling in justifications. Their own narrative will start aligning to fill the gap you left. And when they do, they think it was their idea, which means zero resistance, full adoption. 5. During social dynamics, frame ownership through stillness. You don't always need words to lead. Sometimes the one who stays composed, while others chatter, explain, scramble, owns the gravity of the room. Your silence says, I don't chase acceptance. I let reality adjust to me. And reality will, because social spaces gravitate toward whoever, can sit inside tension without blinking. Precision silence, applied correctly, turns every conversation into a slow, psychological conquest. You don't shout, you don't argue, you don't chase, you hold, you tighten, you collapse resistance with nothing but pure, deliberate absence. Part 6. Precision. Silence is power without effort. Real power doesn't announce itself. It doesn't rush to fill the room. It doesn't chase validation. It doesn't scramble to be understood. Real power holds. It allows pressure to build. It forces others to move first, to reveal first, to break first, without lifting a finger. Precision silence is not about being passive. It's about being immovable. It's not withdrawal, it's dominance, without wasted energy. The more you speak reactively, the more ground you surrender. The more you master silence, the more space rearranges itself around your presence. You control the frame, not by adding more noise, but by refusing to react inside theirs. You make silence an active force, a weapon they feel, but can't fight, a presence they notice, but can't name. From this point forward, you don't chase tension, you don't fear dead space, you don't rush to manage discomfort, you hold it, you own it, you expand inside it, because silence isn't emptiness, it's pressure, it's gravity, it's control. CTA. For the next 72 hours, speak less, pause longer, hold heavier. Let them reveal themselves. Let them collapse into the spaces you refuse to fill, because real conquest isn't in overpowering their words. It's in mastering the space they can't survive without noise.